Iran,
The United States and Iran, America, Iran,
Iran and US.
When people hear that the United States of America and Iran are on the brink of war, it almost sounds inevitable, as if these countries hated each other for many years. But here's something surprising. Iran and US have never fought a full-scale war against each other. In fact, there was a time when these two countries were close allies. What happened in these last 100 years that Iran and US have now become bitter rivals? The answer is not just a missile strike. It is much more than that. Let us leapfrog into it. It's a story involving foreign intervention, revolution, religion, sanctions, and decades of mistrust. Each decision led to consequences which made the conflict more and more likely. And to understand today's headlines, we need to go back more than 70 years of history.
I think it's over. I don't want to deal with them anymore. They're scum.
ما در این جنگ برنده میدانیم.
Iran has some of the world's largest oil reserves. Today, it may sound normal, but few years back, it wasn't. Because in the earlier 20th century, oil wasn't just a resource. It was a resource which powered shipbuilding, industry, and all other different sectors, and even entire economies. Whoever controlled oil controlled the world. For many years, Iran's oil economy was completely dominated by global countries like Britain. While the Iranian oil was earning enormous profits, the Iranian people believed that only a very small share of the profits were being used for the people's welfare and that were coming to the Iranian people. This is because the Great Britain and other countries extracted wealth from Iranian oil profits. Eventually, in 1951, Mossadegh was elected as the prime minister against all this because he believed that Iran's oil was supposed to stay in Iran and used for the profits of people of Iran. So he nationalized the oil industry and took away British control from the oil. People inside Iran celebrated this decision, but the people outside Iran, Britain primarily, saw it as a direct threat to their economic interests. Here's introducing Udayan Hazra. Today he'll be talking to us about the coup that changed everything in Iran.
Britain wanted Mossadegh removed. The United States initially remained cautious, but this was also the height of the Cold War. Washington feared that political instability in Iran could allow the Soviet Union to gain influence in the region. Whether that fear was justified or not is still debated by historians. In 1953, the British Intelligence Service and the CIA supported a covert operation that helped remove Mossadegh from power. The Shah, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, returned with stronger authority and became one of America's closest allies in the Middle East. For the United States, this seemed like a strategic victory. For many Iranians, however, it became proof that foreign powers were willing to interfere whenever Iran tried to control its own future. That memory never disappeared.
Since becoming Prime Minister, Mossadegh had an uneasy relationship with Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, the King of Iran. Mossadegh thought the Shah should only be a symbol of the country's unity and not the ruler. This effectively meant curbing the power of the king and the royal court. So the Shah's allies, who were losing their influence, started to conspire against Mossadegh.
For the next 25 years, Iran was ruled by the Shah while maintaining close ties with the United States of America. The government modernized parts of the country and strengthened the economy in several sectors. But it was criticized for authoritarian rule and suppression of political powers of the opposition and activities of the secret police. Slowly, the Iranians started protesting, and in 1979, the monarchy came to an end. The Iranian Revolution completely transformed the country. Ayatollah Ruhollah Khamenei established a new Iran based on a very different political vision. Almost overnight, America's closest ally transformed into a complete opposition. Soon afterwards, the Iranian students stormed the US embassy in Tehran and held 52 US delegates captive for 444 days. For Americans, this became one of the biggest humiliations in foreign exchange in recent times. For Iranians, it was that they were believing that they were preventing another foreign intervention as the British were in 1953. Relationship between the two countries was shattered. Here's introducing Rajveer Vasisht. He will be further elucidating this topic.
Since then, the United States and Iran have not had direct conflict. Instead, they've chosen to compete through sanctions, diplomacy, cyber operations, intelligence activities, and by furthering with their regional allies. The tactics used here by USA and Iran are USA has run sanctions on Iran in order to put pressure on them because of their nuclear program, support for armed groups, and their support for armed groups. And Iran has tried to further its regional influence through partnerships with the governments of Iraq, Yemen, Lebanon, and Syria in a thing called proxy conflicts. Here, they compete indirectly instead of fighting each other head-on. Every new crisis reinforced old suspicions. The assassination of the Iranian general Qasem Soleimani in 2020, and along with clashes with regional allies, added another layer of mistrust upon the others, as this relationship was built on mistrust, and no relationship on mistrust can be built without further issues. Neither side trusted the other's intentions. Every action was interpreted through the memories of everything that had happened before.
So, when we hear about the missile strikes today, we are not looking at a conflict that has just appeared. It is going on and on since decades. A story that began with oil, continued with foreign intervention, and exploded through revolution, and has evolved into one of the most complex rivalries in modern geopolitics. But here's the bigger question. If this conflict is taking place thousands of kilometers away, why do petrol prices rise in India? Why do global stock markets react within minutes? And why does the entire world pay attention to the US-Iran war? That's exactly what we'll answer in the next episode.